Okay, sorry guys. And then we also have a new preschool autism class. So their schedule is up there. In addition, we have our preschool class-based classes as well. So that'll be our schedule. I am recording. So we will try to make this available for people who weren't able to be here. Student arrival. We will have the same entryways that we had last year, walkers and kiss and ride. We're letting kids in starting at 8:55. And the first week we'll probably adjust it slightly, but there are no teachers or supervision before that time, so that will be the time for people. Bus riders, the buses normally get here about 8:45. We still let them in at 8:55 as well. And then anyone who arrives after 9:10, at 9:11 you're considered late. So you will have to walk your student in and sign them in, and they will get a tardy. Also, we wanted to remind you that our neighbors, we love to keep our neighbors happy. And please don't park in the townhouse or condo area. And walk your students, because they do ticket and tow cars. And they also, it makes them very upset with our school community, and we don't want that. Door 2 will be for walkers, for walkers in kindergarten and grades 3 through 6. That's our cafeteria door. Door 8 will also be for first and second grade walkers. Again, 8:55, and they'll be dismissed at 3:55. Kiss and ride will come through door 3. And bus riders will come through the front door. We tried to kind of spread it out so that all the kids won't be coming in one area. Attendance and student absences. There are some links that you can put, that you can click to tell us that your child will be absent or tardy. Also, for early dismissals, email your child's teacher in advance, and we ask that you arrive before. We really don't take early dismissals after 3:30 because the buses, it just gets to be too crowded. Okay. If there are changes in transportation, email your child's teacher, and they will get a pass as well. We are not issuing bus tickets or transportation passes until transportation approves it. So let's say you need an exception to ride.
Okay, a couple of questions about the bus. First of all, for kindergarten students, they will walk from the bus to the classroom, but the IAs will be meeting them in the front of the school, and especially the first couple of weeks, there will be plenty of adults all the way from the buses all the way to the classroom until they get the hang of it. And as far as can someone use the bus part-time, we suggest that you sign up for the bus, and obviously if they walk or if they use Kiss and Ride, they don't have to be on the bus every day. We'd like to have the most lined up as possible so we know how many are on each bus, but no, you don't have to use it 100% of the time.
Right. And Keith, did you answer how do kindergarten kids get from the bus to the classroom?
Yeah, I did. They'll be watched from every step of the way, and there'll be IAs. We'll definitely meet them at the front of the lobby, but there'll be specialists. When I say specialists, I mean like PE teachers, music teachers outside in the front the first couple weeks of school as well.
Okay. And we're going to kind of balance the chat questions too.
We'll be getting to all about the absences and stuff. And if we don't, like we said, if we don't answer questions please email us.
Okay. So the welcome events coming up have already been sent out. Our kindergarten play date will be Wednesday, August 17th, next Wednesday, from 3 to 4 on our playground. We are asking that you arrive and just enjoy. Our teachers will be out there just to say hi to everyone and give the kids an opportunity to play on the playground. Our open house and new family welcome. We're doing that Thursday, August 19th. We did split it up a little bit. Our open house this year, the last couple of years, we've combined it with back to school night. This year, it's truly just an open house. So it's a time for you to come. I apologize. Thank you. The kindergarten play date is Sharon Langston.
It's Tuesday the 17th.
Tuesday the 17th. I apologize. That's a typo. So the open house is a time for you to drop off supplies. It's a time for you to say hi, for your kids to meet the teacher, and all of that information as well. No presentations will be held at the open house. It's just like when you go to buy a house. You just drop in, you look around, and you leave. We're really trying to make sure we don't have too many people all connected in the classroom at one time. Information will be sent through your teachers about routines and all of those things will be sent via newsletters, and we will have an open house as well. School night.
Yeah, for open house, we just want to share that as a time to really drop your supplies off, meet your teachers, and then move on. We do have a 2-hour window for grades 2 through 6. There's no presentation. We just wanted to kind of spread out so everyone didn't come in at once to keep everyone safe with social distancing. K to 1 is an hour, but it's separate in the morning. And we are planning on having 6th graders around the school on the lower level to be at different spots. So the kindergarten and 1st graders can walk their kids around and just kind of get a look at the school, because a lot of them haven't been in here at all. So we will have staff and students from, I think it's 11 to 12, around the lower levels where the gym is, the cafeteria, the bathrooms, and all that kind of stuff for the kindergartners and 1st graders.
And we did leave a little wiggle room in there. We will have that time if you want to bring a family picnic for the front lawn, or, if you have kids that are in K1 and maybe you have older kids too, you can do that as well.
The
Pre-K
open house is Friday. Pre-K and preschool. It's pre-K too, right, Felicia?
Pre-K, preschool,
and PAC will be Friday morning.
And that is, if you go to the website, that information is in the News You Choose. And by the way, if you have not signed up for News You Choose, we send out weekly newsletters through the News You Choose. If you haven't, go to our school website and you can get all the News You Choose that we have sent out. The county is also using News You Choose instead of eNotify. You got this message through eNotify, which goes to everybody enrolled. But from now on, the county will be sending only emergency things through eNotify. We probably will have a couple of specialists. Teachers will be reporting, so I think people will be coming and going outside for that kindergarten as well, or, so we will have some out there too. Pre-K.
It's 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on the 20th.
You do not need to bring anything on the 17th. We won't be taking supplies then. Transportation. So we did send out something for bus transportation. The county sent out a survey. They asked you to fill out. Here's a link to it that you can click on. If you need your student ID, you can call the office.
I do. Okay, sorry. I do want to add, it was a thing about extracurricular activities and enrichment. Right. Quite frankly, our goal right now is to get everyone into the school safely during the school hours. We'll be adding stuff as is permitted, but our primary focus right now is getting everybody into the school safely. So we'll be adding stuff as we are allowed to per FCPS.
Yes, and band and strings, there will be opportunities for your kids to sign up if they haven't signed up. But we are looking at some other things. But right now, we're just trying to get everybody in, as Mr. Hirsch said. So we included this page right here. This links to the county website that they update periodically. And it tells you everything new. So any information you want to know about what the county's doing about masking or whatever you need, it's on this page. So that's there as well. Okay, so the next part, the county, as I think you all should have received something about masking. We are asking that everyone wear your mask indoors. And the only time that kids will not be masked is while they're actively eating. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that. So the person worried about masks, we had kids all the way from our babies. Our 3-year-olds were able to wear masks. And the policy for that is start practicing. I have a 3-year-old nephew as well. What we started doing with him before he had to is put the mask on for a little bit. But if there are kids that have developmental delays or they're having difficulty, we remind them to put their mask back on, but we also come up with a plan for them. But I will tell you, our preschool students, our special ed students, our general ed students, all of our students did very well with their masks.
So there's a question about aftercare. Keep 54 is kind of far back, and please keep calling and asking. But there are some opportunities we have a couple of martial arts companies that come to our school and pick up kids. Mm-hmm. What I would suggest for that is next week when you come in for open house, we will probably have some flyers out for that because they're contacting us. But also the aftercare program is going through a lot of transition right now. So while 54 seems so far out, there's a lot of kids that have been on it from 2 years ago. So yeah, it's pre-EMA, K2 Encourage. They're all around, and they will all pick up at the school, either through the front of the school where the buses are or through Kiss and Ride, depending on the numbers. But we will work with you, and we will help you if you need any assistance for that.
Yeah,
and,
Mr. Hackett, give us a call. We also have there are a lot of different, we're not recommending anyone, but we can give you a list that you can call. Lots of our kids do that. So give us a call and we'll kind of let you know. EMA, they will be at open house. They are our business partner as well. So this is hot off the presses. The mask update has kind of changed a little bit. So this we thought was very clear, so we added it in. So indoor schools and non-based offices. So if you go to our headquarters, Gatehouse or Willow Oaks, even fully vaccinated people are required to wear masks indoors. Outdoors, if you're vaccinated, it's not required for individuals who choose not to. For people who are not fully vaccinated, like we know our babies, a lot of them have not been able to get vaccinated yet. So indoors is also required. So indoors in school, everyone will be wearing masks unless you are actively eating or drinking. Outdoors, for not fully vaccinated individuals, it is not required to wear a mask. However, the CDC is recommending it for crowded places or during outdoor activities that require close contact. So you will probably need to have conversations with your students if you want them to be fully masked in school. At recess, you will need to have a conversation with them. Okay. This we just added, and we will be sending this out through eNotify, so you'll get a copy of this presentation. But they kind of revised the definition of close contact. So a close contact, and we're talking about if you are, if someone has COVID, we have to kind of do a close contact list. And a close contact is defined as someone who is within 6 feet of an infected person for 15 minutes or more over a 24 period. And because in K through 12 classroom settings, The contact definition excludes students who were within 3 to 6 feet of an infected individual where social distancing and they were using correct mask and all of that.
And I will add, for everything we're about to get to, as far as masks, I know the big question, not just at our school, across the county, is lunch. Please understand, it's August 12th today. August 23rd is a long way away in COVID time. So things may change quickly. We are just going with what we have today. So please bear with us with that, and we are doing the best we can. Your child's teacher will be emailed to you on the 18th.
Yeah, and again, that we did give you a list of when all of that.
No, you only get notice. I believe there was a question about COVID case in the classroom. I think you'll get notice if your child is considered a close contact.
Yes.
And that's each classroom, and in the cafeteria there'll be a seating chart everywhere they go. Art, PE, music, everywhere there'll be seating charts.
Miss Hale, the students, so we are going to get to that piece. That's our next slide, I believe. But in lunch, they have said that we will do our best, but we cannot do the 6 feet social distancing at this time exclusively.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to keep up on the chat. We don't have any outdoor classes set up. We have a tent that's supposed to be coming. But yes, some Fairfax, and that's the key, Ms. Thompson, some Fairfax schools, not all. The problem with outdoor classes, especially in Northern Virginia, it's either 100 degrees or 10 below zero. It's never in between. It's hard to keep them focused. It's windy, and especially with the little ones. Teachers will do their best, but we are not going to implement any outdoor classes. It's just like, for example, today would not be a pretty good day to do outdoor classes.
But we are
Yeah.
having the outdoor classrooms, for instance, the garden area. We have revived our garden, so kids will be able to go out there. Last year, we did have classes go, and sometimes teachers would take the kids out. So in that aspect, Ms. Thompson, and if you want to clarify by turning your mic on, you're welcome to.
So this outdoor lunch is also, understand that teachers do not cover lunches. So we only have 2 cafeteria hostesses that are watching the lunch. So we don't have when I say no one in elementary school has the resources to cover lunches outside. Again, the same thing. We were talking to teachers about it this week, and when the classes were smaller in the spring, they went outside, but there was papers flying. It's just not the easiest. It's not as easy as it sounds. As far as hand sanitizing, this is kind of the role of the parent as well. The teachers will do their best, but there will be 25 kids in some classes. They can't have eyes in 25 places at once. I think as we are 18 months into this, most of our kids know when there's sanitizer outside every classroom door in our building. And you'll see that when you come next week, and they'll be inside as well. I can fib and say we're going to watch every second. We can't.
No, but kids they will hand sanitize or wash their hands before going out to recess and lunch. If they're doing a bathroom break where it's a whole class, they will do the same thing. But we have plenty of hand sanitizer. We're trying to do hand washing as much as possible. We built it in last year, and the kids did do well with that. We do have some reminders and things like that. But as Mr. Hirsch said, it's not something, we do the very best we can, and it is built in as well. Okay, so I think we're caught up on that. Everyone will be wearing their mask, even on the bus, and even if they're vaccinated. The CDC is recommending 3 feet distancing when possible. Passengers and drivers have to wear their mask on the bus. Again, the masks are not required, but recommended in crowded outdoor places. The health questionnaire this year, there are some links up here as well. They are asking you to do it based on the honor system. What that means is last year they were required by every person. They're saying, yes, do it. And in order to get your parent view. I know you do have to fill out the health form as well.
Thanks, Melanie.
Yeah, Ms. Moss put something in the chat about reminding students as well. And the other thing, kids that do not have masks, the school has a supply of masks. Sometimes kids forget at Kiss and Ride and they come in and we have extra supplies for that. So here's our lunchtime situation.
Miss Hale, we can't, we're not going to tell you because we don't know. We don't ask our staff.
That's part of their personal health.
Good question. It's not required yet by state of Virginia, so we can't answer that. And believe me, we've had a lot of questions about that.
So that is something that we try to keep as their personal until it's required. Then we can say, but I will say that many of our teachers took advantage of it when it was offered. Okay, so students, again, are required to wear their mask in the cafeteria when not actively eating and drinking. So this year we did increase our dining assistant, but normally elementary schools only have one. We're kind of putting some extra money in to get two, so that we can make sure when kids are not eating, you know how they maybe finish eating, somebody may remind them, put your mask back on. And our classroom teachers will be doing that as well as us. Cafeteria spaces are going to be cleaned regularly with a sanitizing solution as kids are coming in. It is recommended that students wash their hands with soap and water or use hand sanitizer. We've always had hand sanitizer in the cafeteria even before COVID because we had a salad bar and other things. So this year we will not have a salad bar, but we can do that. Kids will be able to do that when they leave their classroom. They'll sanitize or wash their hands. And then once they get into the cafeteria, they will also do that. FCPS is working closely with the health department. I do see your hand, Ms. Evans. And here's the part I want to make sure all students will continue to be offered a no-cost breakfast and lunch for the entire school year. If you are a family that would like to fill out the lunch, free and reduced lunch, please still do that because I know other benefits come along with that for families. Miss Evans?
Okay, sorry, can you hear me?
I sure can.
Sorry, I couldn't put it on the message because I'm driving. So for the lunches, will it just be cold lunches like last year served, or will there be like hot lunches where they go through the line and?
They will go through the line, and while they're going through the line, they will be masked. It will be hot lunches and the breakfast as well. We are doing a bag breakfast, so when kids come into the building, they will be offered a lunch, whether it's through Kiss and Ride or if it's through the front door or the side doors. So we will have lunches ready, breakfast, not lunch, I'm sorry, breakfast ready for them to grab one. Lunch, they will go through the line, they will wear their mask and as they go through.
So it'll be the same thing, like they could get the peanut butter jelly sandwich or?
The menus, they haven't really given us all of those yet. They say they're gonna be available. There's a link there. Beginning August 18th. And yes, pre-K does get lunch and breakfast too. Now, pre-K is different. Pre-K has previously known as Head Start. They have a catered lunch, so their lunch doesn't change. That program is different it's run by the state a little bit, so that's different. Preschool, and K through 6, they get the Fairfax County lunches. Okay? All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, PE. Last year during PE, you know, we had a monitor for part and we had a teacher that was in. We are kind of making sure that if kids if they're distance and they might with the exertion, you know, you might have to walk away a little bit, but we're requiring that they're wearing their mask. Okay. Does that answer your question? Okay. Clinic and medications. Miss Croft will not be joining us this year. So right now we are in the process. We will have someone in our clinic, but I don't have the name to give you right now. But we will put that out as soon as we do. On this page, there's a health form. If your child has allergies, this will help us. If you put the allergy pieces on the health form. If you are a new parent or a kindergarten parent coming into the school, last year during the pandemic, if a child came in and had any symptom related to COVID, what we were required to do is see your child, give you a call, ask you to come pick your child up, and give you a health form that you either needed to take your child to the doctor or keep them out for 10 days. It's changed a little bit now. So the health, if your child has a known allergy and we're seeing something that's not new. So let's say, for instance, your child has asthma, and you know, sometimes kids with asthma have a dry cough. If it's noted on your health form and they're coughing, you know, we won't say, oh, fill out this health form unless they have fever or other things listed with. So there's a list. If you go to that health page that we had, there's a list that you can look at that tells you exactly what the symptoms that we'll be looking at. But please, our policy as a county is if your child comes in not feeling well, we are not going to guess and say, oh, it's okay. We're going to be careful for all of our sakes. And we're going to follow the procedure. So if we give you a health form, please don't take it as, oh, well, why did I get this form? My child's fine. We're asking that you take your child to the doctor just to make sure that we're all safe. Any questions on any of that so far? Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, I do have one. Will a rapid test result clear your kid to come back in?
That has kind of changed over time. I'm going to ask you, let me look that up, because in the past, they still said if you, for some kids, but I think that's changed somewhat and they haven't told us that information yet. But typically, let me come back to that. Keith, will you jot that down, and I'll put something out when I send this out to answer that question.
What was the question?
Will a rapid test, so if the child goes and they get a rapid test and they're free of symptoms, last year it did clear, but we also had to make sure the child was fever free, like the same things we typically would do. But I want to clarify to make sure on that. Okay. If your child has a specific food allergy or some type of diet restrictions, like some of our kids need to be gluten-free or other things, please mark anything that you think we would need on that health form. There are active links in the thing that I will send. When I send this out, you'll be able to click on the links. Okay. Please, and we say this anyway, please don't send your children sick. If you know how sometimes I'm a parent, my kids are 22 and 20. You're like, oh, you're okay, try it. This is not the time to do that. Please, please, please do not send your child sick. If they're not feeling well the night before, please let them take that day and rest and make sure that they're okay. If it continues on, please take them to the doctor. If your child is diagnosed, has been diagnosed with COVID-19, here's the process. They may not return until it's been at least 10 days since the child first had symptoms. Also, if the child doesn't have a fever, after they also have to be fever free, and that's with no Tylenol or any medication. Also, you will still have to get the form filled out by the doctor. There are some things you're going to be receiving. I'm sorry, let me get that chat.
Yeah, the virtual option, there is no virtual option. The only time a class, it'll be virtual is when a whole class is considered in quarantine. If it's only a few kids, it'll be just like pre-March 2020, and they'll be home and they'll get work sent home to them, and they can work on it asynchronously.
And Ms. Vidal, that information is going to be sent home to you this week from the county. They just kind of told us about that today at our principals meeting. So they list several different situations. But the virtual school, they have closed. People had opportunities last year to enter, and that is now closed. Okay. Ms. Evans?
Sorry, quick question. If your child was exposed and they had to, stay home for a week, or they did get it, and they're doing the work, does that count as absences for them as long as they're still doing the work and turning it in, or?
That's a question that came up in our principals meeting. I think at this time, if they're doing the work, I don't think it actively counts. But again, they're going to give us clarification on that. We did ask that question as well.
Thank you.
Mr. Basha.
Hi, Ms. Drake. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. A quick question. I know the numbers are going up with the Delta, all of that. You may have addressed this question. I joined late. My apologies. I've been hearing some news saying some schools are considering virtual options again. So is that an option on your back pocket for the county or for your staff?
Right now that we are coming back 5 days a week. If, again, they're sending some communication this week to families. They have to be prepared for anything, but right now they're saying it's not what we're doing. We're coming back as is. And if for some reason, maybe the governor or, the health department, then they have some options. So that should be coming out as soon as they give us permission to release. After they send it, I'll clarify it and send it again. Okay, but that's a good question. Volunteers. Right now, we are allowed to have some volunteers, but it's considered essential support. So any parent entering the building will still need to fill out the health survey online. You don't have to do the paper copy. Also, we will have room parents, and I've talked to our fabulous PTA. Sharon Langston is here. She is our PTA president. I can't see the other executive members. I can't see everybody on, but we have sent out our fabulous executive board. We are asking you, please, please, please support us by joining the PTA. But last year they put something in place where each grade level had a coordinator. And then that coordinator, that parent contacted the grade level parents and said, hey, we need help with this. Can you help us? And we've asked them to continue that. So teachers during open house, there will be opportunities to sign up via a Google form if you want to support us in any way as a volunteer. The nice thing is we will have some virtual and some in-person events this year. Last year that was limited. Open house is on the 19th, and Ms. Fweck, once you get your child's teacher, you can just say, I want to be a room parent. Okay. Birthday celebrations, we started early on because we have so many different allergies. And so we really ask that you not send birthday treats or food. But we did encourage, you can dedicate a book, you can do a special poster, you can do some things like that. You can send pencils, but we just ask that food not be one of the things that, especially during this time as well. I'm going to stop and pause. Are there any other questions? Ms. Font, you can go ahead. I can't hear you. Are you already talking? Luan Fan, your hand is up. Do you have a question? Okay, I'll keep going. This year, we know not only kids, but adults have experienced some trauma by not being able to go to school, by being virtual, by having family members that may have gotten COVID, by having COVID. There are a lot of things. This is something that has never happened before, right? So we want to make sure that that social emotional learning is happening. We have always been big at Cardinal Forest and making sure academic and social needs were being met. But in addition to what we've done in the past, there also be lessons for social emotional support. And we wanted to make sure that you were given our counselors and our social worker. We have a great clinical team. I did not put our psychologist up here. I will add it before I send it out. But we want to make sure that kids feel safe and wanted. And we know that some kids have anxiety right now as well. Coming back to school, it's new for a lot of our kids, have been out for almost a year and a half. So we want to make sure that we are addressing those needs. Ms. Fon, did you come up with your question? Okay, she left. Okay. Laptops. Laptops will be distributed for everyone. Ms. Fon, would you like to ask your question?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, Mr. Fon, I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry because I log in and then I put to talk and then automatically log out. So I just log in late. So I want to know like what the meeting talking about, the COVID or something else, because I just heard about the COVID. So I want to hear more from you.
Yes, we kind of already went through the safety precautions that we're taking as a school and as a county. I did record this meeting, so it will be available. It'll also be on our website that you can access it. I'll put not the recording, but the presentation will be on the website as well. So I'll send that out. But we're Mr. Fon, we're taking a lot of precautions to make sure people are safe.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Yep.
All right. So all students will be issued a laptop. Miss McGarry, I see your hand.
Hi, I am piggybacking on Deanna's question from the chat. If kids are quarantined, will there be work in Google Classroom? Will there be opportunities for them to keep up on what they're doing in the classroom from home?
Yes, thank you. And I think I started answering that and didn't finish. So that information is coming out. There will be asynchronous work, which means that there'll be assignments that the kids can access and they will get graded. We'll make sure that they stay up on everything as well.
And Ms. McGarry, at this time, there is no plans for any concurrent learning. So there will not be some kids from home and some kids in the classroom. That is, as of 1:30 p.m. today, that is not on the table. So we want to make that clear. And to be quite frank, every teacher in the county is thrilled about that because it was the hardest thing for them to do.
Yeah, I think that's better anyway. But I want to know what kind of asynchronous options there were. That sounds good. Thank you.
Yes. So there'll be when you get the information, they've actually come up with plans so it's equal across. But for most of you who don't know our teachers are very conscientious. If your child is absent just on a normal basis, they try to figure out what they need and get that information to you. So that will be happening as well. So for the laptops, our pre-K students will be issued a laptop and they will just take theirs home. That's pre-K, our PAC program, and our early childhood class-based classrooms. They will go home and stay. They will not be bringing them back and forth. That laptop will be used for programs and other things or in their home visits. Okay. For grades kindergarten through second, they're going to leave their laptops at school for right now. Okay. So they won't travel back and forth for the most part. So unless we need them for some reason. For third through sixth grade, they will be able to take theirs home every day back and forth, carry them back and forth. So I hope that answers that questions. Yes, if they're quarantining, of course we will get you their laptop. Okay. Thanks, Martina. Okay, so students will sign a technology agreement like they always do, acceptable use agreement. It'll say, I'm only going to use my laptop when when the teachers instructed me, use only the sites that, are supposed to be used. All of that hasn't changed. Now, parents, you will be responsible if something happens. You all who were with us last year know something happens to computers, we fix them. But if for some reason you don't return it, as you saw in some of our emails, the county is making you responsible for that. Okay, let's see. Do fourth graders have to carry their laptop home? We can talk about that, Ms. Waller. There will be some times that we can chat about that. I think the key is they wanted kids to have that flexibility. And again, if something happens to it, we will fix it. It's fine. No worries. Okay. Okay, we are going to have Schoology. It's pronounced Schoology. And some of you who have been with the county know that we've had several different platforms. And our newest one is Zoom. And as you saw from today, I was like, okay, I'm on board. I did my training. I'm going to do Zoom. And then they told us, oh, guess what? You can't use it for non-FCPS users. So Google Blackboard no longer exists. Zoom will be our web conferencing tool for virtual meetings, parent coffees, all of those things. Google Drive does match up with Schoology. And I think you'll like Schoology once you get in, because we can send our school things. We can send classroom newsletters, kind of like Google Meets, but it's kind of like Google Meets on steroids. It's like a lot of information you'll be able to get to. Students are going to log in using their FCPS student ID. When they'll be getting their laptops the first week of school. So our goal is to make sure all kids have laptops that first week. This is going to be important. In SIS, the student information system, there's something called Parent View. If you have not signed up, please sign up for that. If you're a new parent, you should receive activation between yesterday and the 13th. If you're registered, if you finished your registration. What Parent View is, it's a way everything we do, attendance, behavior, grades, all of that stuff is in your Parent View. It's also a way that the county communicates with you as well. Okay. So your assignments, homeroom news, all of that is going to be posted on Schoology. And that's how you get your Schoology account, is by having the Parent View. Report cards are also, or progress reports are also available through Parent View. And there's a website if you want more information about Schoology. Beginning of the year permissions. We will need you again to go through and look at all the digital resources that we are using. Mr. Hirsch and I and our SBITs and our T-SPEC and teachers, we all kind of got together and said, what are the best resources that we could purchase, digital resources? And in order for your child to use them, you need to make sure that you give consent before the first day of school. Now, let's say for some reason you don't, we will make sure you get reminders about that. Family Life Education, or FLE. I encourage you as a parent, I went through to see they're like our health lessons. There are human, Keith, reproducing, human health and development. Sorry, I had a blank there. But, you know, as a family, you need to decide, do you want your child to go through those lessons? The opt-out forms, if you decide, no, I'd rather do that myself, you can click that opt-out and your child will not get those lessons in school. Pictures will be sending the information. I believe we did change it. Originally, we had the 8th, but that's a holiday for some of our families, the day after a holiday. So we did change it. I want to say it's September 11th is what I want to say, but I will get that in our next News You Choose. Counseling. There's also, they haven't given us the opt-out form. If you don't want your child in pictures or you don't want your child receiving counseling, they haven't given us those links yet. As soon as we get those opt-out links, that'll be coming home as well. Student rights and responsibilities. That's what we call SR&R. It's basically all your students' rights and what we hold them responsible for. We will need you to review that and sign that as well. I'm pausing again. Any other questions? This is a lot of information. We wanted to make sure you had it. Okay, Ms. McGarry, we'll take you, and then we'll take Ms. Perez.
Sorry, must have hit the button accidentally. I don't have a
Okay,
question.
Ms. Perez.
What happens if we don't agree with the SR&R?
Everyone has to sign the SR&R. You're not agreeing with it. You're acknowledging it. Acknowledging that you've been informed of what the rights and responsibilities are.
So what's the difference? I mean, are you saying even though I read it, it doesn't?
You're acknowledging that you have received a copy and that you are aware of the policies and regulations that Fairfax County has in place.
Oh, so there's no disagreements about that. You just have to.
No, ma'am. It's the policies that we have. Now, tell me a little bit more about, as far as it's our discipline, it's all of that. So in addition, let's say your child breaks one of the SR&R rules, right?
Right.
And Mr. Hirsch and I speak to your child and we apply a consequence, you can appeal those decisions. So does that clarify a little bit for you?
Yeah, because a lot of it goes against my religious beliefs. So I don't know how that.
Oh, the SR&R?
Right. The new transgender rule where transgender people can go inside the bathrooms. I'm not in total agreement with that.
Okay, well, we can talk offline, and but you're acknowledging that piece that you received a copy of it.
And if I don't sign it, is that an excuse, or what happens if you don't sign that?
Let's have an offline conversation.
Yeah, we can talk. We only have about 10 minutes left, so we want to make sure. But again, we are open to having this conversation tomorrow or next week.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of sexual harassment can occur with that. So yeah, I'm not in complete agreement with that.
Okay, and Ms. Fweck, we can also, there can be more information, and there is in the SR&R, there is a contact number that, so why don't you all send me an email and we can talk about that.
Okay.
Yes, Ms. Marsh, the digital resource permission is available through ParentView. Okay. All right. Here are the testing things that we will be doing. Our school did get selected to do the social emotional assessment. It's kind of like a survey for families, for kids, and it just tells us it's anonymous. It's not anything that we'll know, and we'll have more information on that. We are doing the growth standards of learning as well for grades 3 through 6. And what the state has done is they've kind of put together a short, remember, if you have kids in grades 3 through 6 already, it's kind of like the Horizon Window 1, Window 2 assessments. It's a short test, and it gives us some information so we can see where kids are, especially after the pandemic. PALS and VKRP. PALS, for some of you who have older kids, is the phonemic awareness assessment. And they're doing that again. And it's going to be great information so we can see what kids already know as far as their sounds and their letters and all of that. iReady, our kids have taken for kids at the beginning of year. Kindergarten students do not take the iReady, but grades 1 through 6 do, and there are some exceptions for that. The DRA is the developmental reading assessment, and kids will be taking that actually at the beginning of year. And for our school, the county requires certain students, but for our school, we want to make sure that all of our students are being assessed on their reading. So all of our students will be taking it in the fall. AAP, hold on, other assessments for students new to the district. We don't for
I can add,
Mr. McCullough.
Yeah, so Mr. There's a test called, there's an abilities test that's given this year to all second and third graders, because the third graders missed it last year, and new students for grades 4 through 6, and that window is the end of October, and there'll be all this testing stuff. It's quite a lot. As it comes up, we will be sending out plenty of information and news you choose family, and our teachers will definitely have that information.
Right. So the families who got a level 2, young scholars, other information, that information will be coming out. Mr. McCullough, as far as the assessments, we do our assessments for all of our students at the beginning of the year. So the first couple of weeks of school. Okay. We will have an AAP night. And AAP, for those of you who are new, stands for Advanced Academics. And it's our advanced academic program or placement. And we, as a school, are a new local level 4, which means originally if our kids qualified for level 4 advanced academics, they could go to Keene Mill, or they could say, I'm going to put that status on hold. So our third grade classes, we do have students that are staying with us, and they will be offered the full curriculum of local level 4. The other things that we're going to do in addition, and each year we will get a new level. We as a school are committed that all kids are thinkers, and so we have taken that advanced academic curriculum, and all of our teachers have received training over the summer. So aspects of that will be in every classroom. We also have an advanced academics teacher, resource teacher, Miss Chris Fisher, and she will be working with students as well as our teachers. That was a lot. That's all we have to present to you today. We really wanted to make sure that you had an opportunity to ask questions. We know there's a lot going on. And so if there are any other questions, please let us know. Raise your hand or.
And you know, for all of you that were here with us last year, as we said earlier, anything could change within a week or so. So just bear with us, and as soon as a lot of this information we just gave you, we got at a meeting 2 hours ago. So we're trying to keep up to date, and we're doing the best we can. So just be patient, and we will get it to you as quickly as we can.
Yes. So thank you so much. I'll hang around a little bit longer. If you have questions, I'll answer a couple of other questions. You can always email Mr. Hirsch and I, and the emails that you receive, you'll notice from us, if you click, that'll take you to it comes directly to my email as an external. It was nice meeting you, Mr. Kavanaugh, and I'm looking forward to meeting Magnus too. Thank you, Ms. Langston. Let's see, how about after and before hours? Ms. Peace, give me a little bit more information what you mean by that. So I think what you're meaning is after school programs. We're going to try to do some of those, but we don't have those scheduled yet. Let's see. New family attending. Thank you so much. I can't wait to meet Nicole.
Ms. Toledo,
Oh.
if you order the supplies through PTA, it'll be at up by the students' classroom by open house.
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Den. Aftercare program run. Let's see, what times does the aftercare program run through for those not on the wait list? This year, you're really going to have to call the SAC office, Mr. Hackett, because that program is housed in our school, but we really don't have anything to do with it. So they've asked us to just have you call their office. I think I put something in the newsletter about that with the phone number. If not, send me an email, and when we talk about the other, we can do that. Thank you, Mr. Marsh. Let's see. Teacher assignments, we are sending them on the 18th via email.
Felicia,
Yes.
I can't see if there was a second one raising their hand.
Okay. Oh, Karen?
Hi, I'm my daughter's, I'm the grandmother. I'm the old one here. I just want to be sure now, did I get this right, that this whole session is recorded and she can listen, my daughter can listen to it later on?
I am posting I did record it. I am posting the PowerPoint or the slide deck, and I also have the recording.
Outstanding, because I'm not that good at taking notes. I'm just saying.
It was a lot of information.
It was a lot of, but I tell you what, this was wonderful. I'm so impressed that looked like she's got a wonderful school for her daughter to go to.
Thank you. And so I'll get that sent out right now. And actually, I'll stop recording. Thank you for saying that, Miss
Karen.
What's the last name?
Yeah, that last name is Loop Naka. What can I say?
My maiden name is Spate, and so I understand difficult names. And I will say this up front, I do my very best with names, but sometimes I struggle, and I will ask you to repeat more than once.
No worries. Nobody gets our name right, so don't worry about that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Anybody else? I'll stay on for about 5 more minutes. And if you don't have any more questions, we look so forward to seeing you. The playground is always open after school. If you want to bring your kids up and say hi, you can do that as well. Thank you, Ms. Fleck. And send me an email and we can arrange an appointment. Okay. Thank you to our staff members. I see a lot of our staff members joined us as well. Thank you so much. Hi, Miss Bell Craig. How are you? I did record the session. Hi, Miss Mena. You have a question?
Yes. Hi. Good afternoon, Miss Felicia. I have a question about the paper that you said that we need to acknowledge and sign for. Is that paper is going to be emailed to us, or how are we going to find it?
It is on when you go to your parent view account. I can
Mhm.
also get you a paper copy as well, but
Okay.
you can click the link and it's in your parent view. So it will come as an email as well. But if
Okay,
you
and you
can't
also,
find it, you know you can just ask and I'll get it sent to you.
yeah, and you also said we can also talk about it, some of the rules and regulations that's already in there.
Yes,
Uh,
ma'am.
okay, there's a possibility that we don't have to sign it.
We
Is
have
that
to
what
have
you're
it.
saying?
What our responsibility is to get you to sign it and acknowledge that you received it. So
Does that mean that our children needs to know about it and they need to know and acknowledge the same thing that we're signing about?
they will have lessons about the SR&R as well.
Can we opt out for that class, or they need to
It's
have
not a
it?
class. It's just our way of telling them. It's a brief overview. So Miss Minna, let me look at a little bit more. Let's talk offline because I want to know
Okay.
specifically. And you know
Okay.
you can give me a call. That's not a
Yeah,
worry.
yeah. I know. Okay. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? How my boys, Miss Bell Craig?
They are great. Thanks for asking.
Awesome, awesome. I did record it, so I will send that out as soon as I can. It's so nice to
Thank you.
see
It's always great.
just people's names. Very nice to see you all. Any other questions for me?
Miss Drake, I just wanted to say thanks for being awesome.
Thank you, Mr. Chagas. You know I'm going to depend on you to be here.
Well, I'll be there. Might not be
Okay.
on time, but I'll be there.
That's okay. That's okay. You're good.
I think it's really nice that you and Mr. Hirsch had this just like totally open forum. When the gentleman earlier was like, "What are we discussing?" I'm like, "Everything." And that is really nice of you. And not nice of you. It is going out of your way, which is what I experienced the last year.
No, that's our job. That's
I
what we
was
do.
nervous. I was a nervous parent last year. That's our job, but you guys do a great job at yours. So
Thank
looking
you
forward
so
to the
much.
school year.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Okay. Take it. You should go take some time to relax.
I will try. Thank you. All right. If there are no other questions, you all can feel free to call me and have a wonderful evening. Thank you. All right. Bye.